Typically, he ended up working for Morgan Stanley. And on the morning of September 11th, 2001, when American Airlines Flight 11 came screaming down the length of Manhattan and crashed into Tower 1, Rick was here at Tower 2. People started to freak out. The building management came over the speaker system and said, "We're investigating what just happened. The safest thing for you to do is to stay at your desks and await further instruction." They didn't think that evacuating was a smart idea yet because there was debris falling on the plaza. It wasn't safe. But Rick said it was an acceptable risk. So he countermanded that order and he told Morgan Stanley, "We're evacuating." He grabbed his cell phone, a walkie-talkie, he radioed his team. He said, "Get everyone out, we're implementing the protocol." He also grabbed a little electric bullhorn so that he could coordinate the evacuation. He and his team started to go up and down the stairs to the several floors that Morgan Stanley worked on. And they started to evacuate, walk down those flights of stairs. They got a head start over everyone else in the building. Finally, a few minutes later, general evacuation was called and other people started to pour down the staircase. Rick was seen on the 10th floor heading back up the stairs. One of the executives said, "Rick, where are you going? We gotta go." Rick said, "I wanna make sure everyone's out." He managed to call his wife on his cell phone. She said, "Come home." He said, "Susan, I will be home as soon as I know everyone is safe." He was heard saying things over that bullhorn, such as, "Stay calm, stay brave, follow your training, follow your training." People are going to be talking about this day for generations, and they're going to talk about how you stayed calm and collected and brave and got yourselves and your coworkers out of this building and to safety. Now, I showed you his name on the memorial, so you know how the day ended for him. But the day ended so differently for more than 2,200 people that worked for Morgan Stanley. He and his team got them out. He got them to safety. 13 guys died that day from Morgan Stanley. Most of them were the security guards and Rick. Susan, his wife, she met him only 3 years before 9/11. She had been married twice already. He had been married once. They were in their late 50s. They met, became friends, got married in about a year. Susan moved in with him and found a frame of Rick's medals from Vietnam and his other military service, and she wanted to hang it up on the wall. And Rick said to her when they moved in, "Put that back in the box. I don't need to see that." And she said, "But other people should see it. They should know what you did. They should know you were a hero." And Rick said, "But I wasn't a hero. I came home. The real heroes are all dead." That's what he said. Folks, thank you for coming on my tour and listening to my stories. It's an honor for me to do this tour. It's the tour I do the most by choice because of how important it is to tell these stories, especially to my young friends. For you, 9/11 is an abstract thing that maybe you learned about in school. I hope I gave you something a little bit richer than a history. So the next time you talk about 9/11 in school, you can talk a little bit about what you learned here today. If you would do me the honor in writing me a review when you get a chance, I would really appreciate it. These 2 QR codes, this is for Get Your Guide, this is for TripAdvisor. You can do either or. And if you mention me by name, it really helps me out. ARUN is my name, Arun. Folks, I know some of you are going to the observatory and not the museum, or you're doing both. The observatory is at the top of One World Trade Center. The entrance to the observatory is not where all the office workers enter. It's on the side that faces the street. There's a busy street here called West Street. You're going to basically go to the west side of the Freedom Tower, the side of the Freedom Tower that faces the busy street. If you're in fact going to the museum, if you'll follow me, I'll bring you around the corner and point where the museum entrance is. That's where you're going to show the people